Hey EDUC 682 students, today we're going to talk about elaboration theory. I love Green Book 2. Can I just say it? I love Green Book 1 and 3 as well, but the Green Books are just such powerful compilations of what we do as instructional designers. And for this week we got to read Elaboration Theory. Now, Elaboration Theory is another one of those that's been around. And you know what? It's just solid and dead on. Actually, I remember as a graduate student not only reading Elaboration Theory, but also Gagne's learning hierarchies, which to me are pretty much kind of similar things. And I always like to break down Elaboration Theory. I can do this whole video in 3 words. What is Elaboration Theory about? Well, simple to complex. That's what it is. Elaboration Theory is simple to complex. That's what we have to remember. We start with simple, broad versions of whatever it is, and we spiral into the more complex, right? We group things together into learning episodes, and we start simply, and we spiral to the more complex. That's really all Elaboration Theory is, as far as, and there's a little bit more to the oar in the rubber boot, and I know you know that, but my purpose behind these videos isn't to get into all of that. But let me just, maybe talk you through an example. Let's talk about maybe flying an airplane. I would say that's a moderately complex task, which is what Elaboration Theory is for. I mean, it's probably more than a moderately complex task, but I think we can use that as an example. If you've got someone and you're teaching them to fly, you're going to teach them to fly the plane first, how to fly in normal, clear weather, right? You're not going to start them off as one of these guys that drives through the middle of hurricanes to measure wind speed. You're going to start them off simply and gradually work to more complex. You would start with a simple takeoff, flying, and landing. You get that kind of learning episode out of the way. And of course, there's a lot of little different things that go in there. I'm just using this as an example. And then you would move to instrumentation, flying with just your instruments, these types of things, flying at night, flying in weather, what happens if something, all the way up before you get to such a complex part of the situation as to fly through a hurricane. So Elaboration Theory is really just that, simple to complex. Make sure that you group all the parts of the concept and principles together for learning episodes. And then basically it's just that spiral. It's just that spiral, simple to complex. Now, what you should be working on this week is your first redesign. And that's kind of where the fun in this class begins. You have a piece of instruction that you've chosen is going to be what you're going to do for this course, and you're going to redesign it by 2 theories. Now, all of the details on what's supposed to be in that is already posted online. I'm not going to go through that. But in other words, what's going to happen is, say you're doing spreadsheets, right? Maybe you're doing your lesson on spreadsheets. You're going to choose 2 things that we've already read to this point, and you're going to redesign your lesson twice according to that. Well, first you'll tell me what you're doing, and you're going to redesign it twice. So if Elaboration Theory is one of the ones you choose, you'll give me all the tenets of Elaboration Theory, and then tell me what the lesson's going to be like according to Elaboration Theory. So in other words, what are the learning episodes and what happens there? If you're doing it by multiple intelligences, then I would be able to see the multiple entry points and exit points and things of that nature. And then you're going to tell me what you learned from the lesson. What are the strengths and the weaknesses from each theory towards the content, things of that nature. This is important application of these theories. Reading these theories or models only gets us so far. What we have to do is be able to take that and apply it as designers. So take these things seriously, and I tell you, in my entire education as an instructional designer, nothing had a more profound effect on me than when I went through a similar exercise in the design class that I had. Enjoy it. If you have any questions, get a hold of me. If you have not created your Google Plus account yet, you need to get it created so we can start having hangouts and I can be able to answer questions. It's a great way to get a hold of me during the day or a lot of times at night so we can have a quick face-to-face chat, even at a distance. But keep up the good work. I know these things are really dense, but it's going to be a lot more fun now that you're actually starting to work on applying the theories and models. So good luck, guys, and I'll see you online.